Okay, so this is the place to get the psychological tools and techniques to keep you motivated to being lean, healthy, and have that sexy go for it feeling that we sometimes lose. So, a little bit about me. How I got into the Cambridge was firstly, I was coaching my sponsor. She used to come to one of my meetings. I broke my foot and I gained 1.5 stone of weight. Um, Mainly because I was laid up on the settee, bored and stressed. I stopped walking my dog, which I do every day. Again, that was a mindset thing because walking my dog, I am a different person when I come back to when I go because I'm in outside. My eyes are up looking at the trees outside in nature. So I knew I kind of had got to know my sponsor and I was thinking, well, I'm going to do the Cambridge Weight Plan to lose this 1.5 stone that I've gained. And it worked. And what I loved about it was that it is a lifestyle change. It is about um, thinking about the different foods you eat and the way you move your body. And I apply some of my own psychological tools and techniques as well to aid my weight loss. And this is a little bit about you. These tools really do work and they work in every area of your life. And we really can be, do, and have who and what we want. Okay. It's all about self-love, an increase in self-love. If you love yourself, you're going to eat like you love yourself and you're going to decrease in pounds, have more energy and focus. So if you've got a pen and paper, if we just take a little bit of time to breathe and to relax and to anchor our body into the chair we're sitting on and to really feel our energy moving down into the earth and feel ourselves really grounded. So I want to start first about the importance of goals. Not just goals, the importance of writing them down. There was a Harvard Business School study of MBA graduates. 3% of those graduates set and clearly wrote down their goals. 13% set goals without writing them down, and 84% set no goals at all. So 10 years later, this research was revisited. The 3% that had written down their goals were earning 10 times more than the 13%, sorry, and the 13% with non-written goals, so they'd set their goals but they hadn't written them down, were earning twice as much as the remainder of the people of the people that were researched. So that just goes to show, and this can be used in any area of your life. So basically, have a goal and write it down. And it's all about our long-term future vision. When we think about goal writing, we are thinking about who we want to be in our long-term future vision. And we need to keep one foot in reality because obviously we need to take action, but we also need to have one foot in that long-term future vision and start acting as if we are who we want to be. So my first question to you guys is, what is your long-term future vision? And this isn't just around your weight. What's your long-term future vision for your entire life? Because we attract into our life who we are being. And I have a form if you want to email me afterwards. I have a sheet where we can script out our long-term future vision, and I point out areas of our lives that we can do that in. And obviously our bodies is one of them. So when we know what our long-term future vision is, we can then set our goals in alignment with that long-term future vision. Then we can ask ourselves, are we taking actions in alignment with it? Are we moving towards or away from our long-term future vision with everything that we do? Because if we're moving away from, what's the reason? Is it because we're stressed out because we've got a new job and we haven't got the time? I'm going to relate this now just to our weight, by the way. Are we stressed out because we've got a new job or something different happening in our life that we're not taking the time to prepare to eat well and feed our bodies, or doing the exercise that we were doing? Or are we in crisis? How many of us eat or don't eat after a breakup, for instance, or if we're going through a horrible time with somebody? Later on in this series, because this is going to be happening every other week, I'm going to talk a little bit more about reframing what's happening in our life in the present moment. So I believe that if you change your beliefs, you change your life. So we live a life in line with our beliefs. And a belief is just a thought that we've thought again, and that should say again, by the way. And our thoughts are made up of our words. And our thoughts affect our emotions. And our emotions affect our actions, which equal our results. And you can reset your beliefs. Okay, we all have reset buttons and different things work for different people. But the first thing we need to reset is our words, and especially the words we say to ourselves. Because if we have different words, we have different thoughts, and that gives us different results because we're making different decisions. Okay? And if we have time, I could take you through a quick meditation at the end of this call about this, because I can show you how having a scary long-term future vision, and that is all to do with our thoughts, which are made up of our words, having a scary long-term future vision can actually affect the actions we take in the present moment. So let's look at what our weight goal is. And this is a tool that you can use around any area of your life. Okay, but if we've got a pen and we've got a paper, and if we just write, and we'll start this now and we'll carry this tool on when we leave this call. If we write at the top of our piece of paper, and you can download this from my website, by the way, www.corecoaching.com, I'm going to get clear about my ideal body, or whatever's good for you. The first way to get really, really clear about what you want, because you need to know what you want so that you can have actions in alignment with what you want, is to list what you don't want. So what don't you want at the moment around your body that's showing up in your life, for instance? So, and this is the only time, by the way, because we want to focus on what we want. Okay, so what don't we want around our ideal body at the moment? So maybe we don't want to weigh 13 stone. Maybe we don't want to have that cream cake every day. Maybe we don't want to have the glass of wine every evening that's high in sugar and calorific. And when we've got our list, so I'm going to just give you a couple of minutes to write 2 to 3 things about what you don't want around your body. And as I said, this is the only time when you do this exercise you're allowed to focus on what you don't want. So I'm going to be quiet for a minute or two to let you come up with 3 things that you don't want around your body. Okay, so I'm going to assume that you've all got 3 things. And if you haven't, this is something that you can do later. The instructions for doing this process is also on my under freebies on my website. So I talked earlier that we can all change our beliefs and we can all have a reset button. And one reset button is, what do I want instead? And it sounds simple, but in the present moment when you are going to reach for that cake that is out of alignment with your long-term future vision, what do I want instead? Well, I want to get into that suit that I used to get into 10 years ago. Right, so is eating that cake going to get me into that suit? What do I want instead? Well, I want to feed my body with a healthy snack. Okay, so for each of the don't wants, we're going to do a what do I want instead, using positive language and eliminating the words don't, not, and no. If I say to you, don't think of a red rose, you'll think of a red rose. No roses, if you type that in the internet, it will come up with a list of roses. And if I say to my dog, you're not going for a walk, she still wags her tail. So those three words, when you're goal setting particularly, need to be eliminated, because they make you focus on, well, your subconscious mind doesn't recognize those three words. So I don't want to meet a smoker. You're going to meet a non-smoker. You're going to meet a smoker, sorry, if you're dating. So positive language, eliminating those words. What do I want instead? And then you're going to put a line through what you don't want and write what you do want. And then when you're off the call, taking this forward, how do you want to feel? How do you want to feel in every given moment? Because it's your feelings that affect your actions. If we go back, words make your thoughts, thoughts affect your emotions, your feelings, and your feelings affect your results. So how do I want to feel? And you can ask that by, so I'm going to feed myself with a healthy snack. So what will that give me? What a sense of will that give me? Well, it will give me a sense of well-being or accomplishment or satisfaction. Focus on that. That's the essence of what you want. So to get our ideal body, we need to stay motivated, because we need to stay on course. We need to stick to it. We need to stick to whatever plan we put in place, to eat, to feed our body, or exercise, to move our body, to get the ideal body we want. And the number one thing is your why. Why do you want what you want? Why do you want the body you want? Do you want it because you're going to be a bridesmaid at a wedding? Do you want it because your son is getting graduated in June and you want to wear a certain thing? Or do you want to be healthy? Why do you want what you want? And get excited about it. It needs to be exciting. And then in those moments, those tempting moments, focus on your why. Again, is that going to meet my why? I mean, I live in a really nice house. I live here because I wanted my boys to go to the school down the road, because it was the next best thing to public school. It wasn't about the house. I got to the essence, how I want to feel. I wanted the feeling of I've given my boys a really good education. So find out your why. And another way to get your why, if you're finding it difficult, is to see what you want and say, what will that give me? And then to that answer, ask again, and what will that give me? And keep drilling down until you get to your really passionate, excited why. Okay, and then you can come up with a power statement, and we can talk about that later. And that power statement needs to link you to your long-term future vision. Okay, then we need to make the demotivating things in our life work for us. So around your ideal body, what won't you stand for anymore? Okay, and then link not attaining your weight goal with that. Okay, and make it work for you and use it as a motivator to get what you want, because there might, so what won't, and that's something, a tool for you to use after this call. Okay, and so what's stopping you? Is it time to prepare and cook healthily? Time to work out? Willpower? Maybe there's a limiting belief that you're too old or it's too late. We're never too old to set a new goal, to have our ideal body that we want. So what's stopping you achieving your long-term future vision around weight? And your habits, think about your habits. They need to be in alignment with your long-term future vision, and they need to be in alignment with your core values. Okay, I talked earlier about my boys. They were my core value. Well, they are my core value. Their education was my core value. So my motivating why to live here in the catchment area of Tomlinscote School drove me and my husband, their father, to work hard to get this house. So they need to be in alignment with your core value and help you attain your highest self. And again, your habits need to be moving you towards rather than away from what you want. And when we look at putting new habits in place, what other habit could you put in place? Because we all have. For me, I love to have a couple of biscuits with a cup of tea. And I also like to have a glass of wine every night. And for those of you that may not know, I've actually had a dry month. And the habit I put in place was I had elderflower cordial topped up with fizzy wine in a wine glass, and I truly felt good and able to, that got me, well, made me feel like I was still having a glass of wine. So what other habit can you put in place for the habits, the eating habits or the exercise habits that you already have in your life to help you shift your habits? And they say it takes 21 days, although some people would say 40, to put a new habit in place. So here's a couple more reset buttons for temptation. So I don't know what your temptation is, but how will I feel about eating this in an hour's time? How will I feel about having that other glass of wine in an hour's time? Okay. Or how will I feel about it tomorrow? And the weekend's a good one with this. From all the people I know around weight loss particularly, the weekends are the hardest. So how am I going to feel about this on Monday? How am I going to feel like this in 3 months' time? Because the best goals are SMART, which means they need to be time scaled. So how am I going to feel about this at the time that I said I would achieve my weight loss goal? And is eating this moving me towards or away from what I want? Why do I want it? That is the biggest motivating factor when temptation is in our face, is why do I want what I want? How do I want to feel? And a few more reset buttons. Well, there's one. Little pickers wear bigger knickers. And actually, they do say that when you make things fun, it is so much easier, don't they? Once on the lips, forever on the hips. Thinking about more reset buttons, one of the things for me is to have an outfit that I really want to get into and to have it hanging up in my wardrobe. Or I'm a big one for doing new moon intentions, and I will have them in my study. So I will do a little kind of vision board, and I'll have it in my study. I will have it as the background on the wallpaper on my phone, so that every time I look at my phone, I can see my intentions for the month, and I'll also have it as the wallpaper on my computer screen, so that when I boot up my computer, it's there. So these little pickers wear bigger knickers, or once on the lips, forever on the hips, are things that we can maybe put around the house, put inside our wardrobe or inside our fridge or inside our cupboard door or wherever we can to help us to just trigger our mind. And the thing is, we need to do it. We all go to workshops, we all go to seminars, we all listen to hangouts, learn new things, but we actually need to apply them in our life. Our actions need to be in alignment with what we really, really want. We need to be shopping in alignment with our weight loss goal in place. We need to be eating in alignment with our weight loss goal in our mind. We need to be exercising in alignment with our weight loss goal. And we need to be thinking. We need to be thinking about how much food we put on our plate, how we feel when we eat our food. We need to make eating more of a ritual. We need to be grateful for the food and everything else that we have showing up in our life. And we need to feel good. And, when we eat, we need to slow down the process and enjoy the tastes and the different colours on our plate. All that is about self-love. And we need to be disciplined. And being disciplined is doing what we say we'll do when we say we'll do it, whether we want to or not. And it's all about us feeling good about ourselves. Because if you do your research, most self-growth people will say is that when you say you're going to do something and you don't do it, you're actually letting yourself down. And that causes unhappiness and sadness. Whereas when you say you're going to do something and you do it, you feel happy and you raise your self-esteem. And your mind is saying, she did what she said she's going to do. She means it. And it gets you to do it again in all those different other areas of your life. Another tool is visualization. You could need to take some time out to visualize your long-term future vision. When you visualize, if you just breathe and relax, and you can do it anywhere, it takes 17 seconds to shift your vibration. So if you could visualize for a minute every day your long-term future vision, and just sit in the chair, breathe and relax, and ground yourself into the chair and ask yourself, what will I be seeing when I'm living my long-term future vision? What will I be hearing the people around me saying when I'm living my long-term future vision? What will I be feeling when I'm living my long-term future vision? What will I be tasting? What will I be smelling? And more importantly, put yourself in the picture and add colour. Add the colour of what you're wearing, the colour of what you're tasting, the colour of the people around you, the colour of your environment, and make the picture big. Throw it onto a wall, make it big and alive. And if you can do that for a minute every day, it will keep you on track. The mind doesn't know whether what you're thinking is real or imagined. And when you put a picture in your mind, it automatically starts to move you towards that picture. And things will show up in your life in alignment with what you want. Anyway, we're coming to the end of our half an hour today, and I want to thank you for joining me. And moving forward, we'll be talking about reframing, which means turning our don't wants into what we want. We've already got one tool. What do I want instead? Decluttering our to-be list rather than our to-do list, and things around self-love.